Shelly here with the Gray Red Nest. Today I have a really special Mama and Me sweatshirt, t-shirt makeover. You're gonna love it. Take a look. Here's Mama's sweatshirt. And here's Daddy's t-shirt. Look at that Carhartt. Oh, I have plans. And look at this. Does it get any cuter? I can just imagine cutting this sleeve off and using this ruffle piece, this scalloped piece right here on the pocket of Daddy's t-shirt. Oh, I'm so excited. Follow along and I'll show you how I make it. So before I start projects, I always like to plan things out. And my first planning is with my thread. So I love, love, love BAi Embroidery thread. And I have the 100 pack, because in the 100 pack I get multiple choices of colors. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? So I have kind of an aqua green here, the gray, and this beautiful pinky mauve burgundy colors to pick from. And these are the ones that I set out from the set that might work. So let's take a look. That light pink is awfully cute. I think that would work. That's cute, but I think we're getting into more orangey, peachy colors there. Same with this, too peach. It looks like it might be more mauve, but in the sunlight, it's got more, when you put it over here, you can tell against this one. It's got a little more green, or I mean, a little more a peach hue versus a pink hue. So that one's out. That one's out. Then we have the neutral color. Looks really nice with this. It looks super nice with this one. So that one's still in. This one's still in. I think this is nice, but it's getting dark. I think I would prefer the lighter. But you know what? It still matches. So it's still a contender. Here's green. I tried to get more of the green that matched this. I think it looks nice on this side, but it does not look nice on this side. So that one's out. Then we have this beautiful rose color. And it picks up more of the shades between the mauve pink here and the rose, deep rose. I think that one's pretty. So that's a contender. And then we have more of the burgundy, the deeper burgundy. I think that's a contender. So far I've removed 3, so I have these left. And what I will do is I will take a picture of this, send it to my customer, and ultimately I let my customer pick. If the customer can't pick, then I pick it for them. So which one would you choose? Number 1, 2, 3, 4, or number 5? Does your choice match Mommy's? We'll see. Comment below. Let me know your choice. And while you're commenting below, you'll notice that in the description box below this video, I have a link to all of the products that I use in this demonstration. The next step in my workflow is to digitize the word mama. I brought in an asset from Creative Fabrica. Boy, if you haven't been over to Creative Fabrica, I encourage you to take a look. It's only $3.99 a month, $3.99, and you can get your hands on anything from embroidery to PNGs to illustrations, clip art, you name it, it's there, and you have the rights to download it and use it and change it up as you see fit in your workflow. So I found this mama one, and I brought it into Embroidery Legacy. That's my digitizing program. And I traced the word mama with a running stitch. I clicked this button and it converted it to an applique just like that. When you do an applique with this button, it is all, for instance, the M will be the running stitch for the outline, then the tack down, and then the satin, and then it'll go to the A. But I wanted to do the M, A, M, A with the outline so I know where to put my applique fabric at. So I right-clicked, and when I did, it gave me an option to break it up. So I didn't take a picture of that, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss that to share with you. But once I broke it up, then I can go over here to my layers, and now my layers are no longer together. They're separated. So I think the next thing I want to do is to color sort. So I come up here to color sort, and look what happened. All of my running stitches are together. All of my tack down stitches are together. My cut lines. And all of my satins are together. And then when I'm on my satin stitch, the top stitch, I click the properties and I make sure that it has a zigzag underlay, and then you can see the zigzag right here. And I also change my stitch width to a 4. It was a 3, so I think 3 is standard. I like mine a little thicker, so I changed mine to a 4. So let's watch the stitch out. I come up here to View Redraw, then I come down here in the corner and I hit play. We'll speed this up a little by clicking on the button over here. We'll do 3 times. So right now it's doing the running stitch for the placement. Now it's doing the double running stitch for the cutting area. So I would have laid my applique piece down, and then it gives me my cut line. And now you see the zigzag that I put in, and then the satin. We'll speed this area up a little. Zigzag satin, zigzag satin, and zigzag satin. Perfect. Now I need to export it as a DST for my Smartstitch machine. So you come up here to the export as, And you have all kinds of options. So if you have a baby lock brother, you can press the PES, FAF, there's the DST, CSD, EXP, and on down. And here's all the quilt files. Of course, this applique cannot be quilted, so I definitely would not do this type of stitch for any quilting. But that's why I love this program, is because I can make a running stitch and turn it into a quilt file. How cool is that? But back up here and staying on track, we're going to export as a DST. And I put my thumb drive in, and I would save it to my thumb drive when I'm ready. But before I do that, I also wanted to show you how I print. So I just come up here to the word print. And it's going to print on 2 different papers here. So I go to print, and it prints out for me. While that's printing, I go over to my cutting table and I get the little baby outfit and I cut it up the side so that it will lay flat. And I also cut the sleeve off because I'm going to use the sleeve as the fabric for the pocket because it has a cute little scalloped edge and it's perfect size. Next, I take the printed mama and I'm making sure that I cut it so that it fits together nicely like this. I tape it together and then I cut the sides off so that I have a perfect template to use on my shirt for perfect placement. I lay it on the baby onesie for, to ensure that I have enough material in the baby onesie. And the back of the onesie, it does fit. But the problem is that that crotch area there comes up and there's a seam and it's a little thick. I can use it that way, but later on in the video, you'll notice that just between the M and the A, I did eventually cut that fabric in half. And I used 2 different pieces instead of one just to work around the seamed area of the crotch. Here I'm using Heat and Bond Light, and I put my fabric on top of the bumpy side of the Heat and Bond Light, and I iron it on. This ensures that my fabric knit doesn't stretch when it's embroidered. Once it cools, I peel the backing piece off, and you're left with the shiny side. For my embroidery stabilizer, I use BAi Richword stabilizer. Now there's a saying, if you wear it, don't tear it. And I always like to double mine. So I use 1 layer of cutaway and 1 layer of tearaway. And the cutaway is the closest to the body and the tearaway is on top. So that way I have double protection, but only 1 layer left after I'm done embroidering. Here I'm using basting spray and I spray the 2 layers so that it acts as one. On the Hoopmaster station, I put the bottom ring of my 8x13 Mighty Hoop and then I put my stabilizer on top of the ring. Now remember the stabilizer, I want the cutaway closest to the body, so it's closest to me here in the picture. And then I will hoop my shirt. And I'll make sure that my mama placement is in the center of the hoop. Now it's time to take the hooped shirt over to the embroidery machine. And notice that I load it so that the bottom of the shirt goes in first. That is to ensure that when it's embroidering and it's moving on that arm, the neck, if I put my neck in first, it would stretch the neck. This way it's has plenty of room to move around. I have a Smartstitch 10 needle machine and I absolutely love it. Here you see me bringing in my file, the mama file, and I'm preparing it and getting it ready to embroider. I loaded the file so that it was upside down And here, before I removed my mama template, I remembered to hold down needle 1 and trace to make sure that it was within my embroidery field. I removed the template, I pressed start, and now my placement stitch is going down. This is also known as the running stitch. Next, I prepare my fabric. I lay it on top, and see there, you can see I cut it into 2 pieces, laid them side by side, and now the cutting stitch is taking place. This is the double running stitch, but it holds the fabric in place so that my next step will be to cut my applique pieces. I remove the hoop from the embroidery machine, and I use my applique scissors to cut as close as I can to those stitch lines. Now it's very important that you take your time on this because you don't want to accidentally cut your shirt. And I won't make you watch the whole process, but you'll get the idea here. I reloaded the embroidery machine for the final stitch. This is the satin stitch. The last step in the process is to remove the hoop, and then I tear off the tearaway stabilizer, and then I cut around the cutaway stabilizer, being sure not to cut my shirt. Then I repeat the whole process for the man's pocket. If you would like to be part of the Founding Members Club and get these 2 embroidery files free, click that join button below, and I'll see you on the other side. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll definitely see you in the next video.